What's up, everybody? My name is Susie Weinrich, and welcome to Mom's Dinner. Here, we're helping adults feel successful at dinner time with easy recipes that include simple ingredients. So if that sounds good to you, we would love to have you subscribe to the channel. Today, I hope you stick around because this is one of the most popular recipes that I have on my website, momsdinner.com, but I just haven't gotten around to making an actual video for this recipe. So today's the day. We're gonna make Instant Pot pulled pork. It is so flavorful, it's so easy to put together, and you can use the pulled pork for barbecue pork sandwiches, pork nachos, tacos, burritos. There's so many uses for this pulled pork. You can even pop it in your freezer and use it later. So stick around today, get your Instant Pot out because we are making Instant Pot pulled pork for dinner tonight. All right, if you don't just happen to have a pork shoulder in your fridge, then you're gonna wanna go to the grocery store and pick one out. You're gonna wanna get one that's somewhere between 3 to 5 pounds. That's gonna fit really nice in your Instant Pot. And what you're gonna look for, there's a few different words that are gonna describe what you're going to buy. It may be called a pork butt. It may be called a pork roast or a pork shoulder roast. It may be called a Boston butt. Those are all generally the same thing. So you'll be good to go whatever you buy. The one I bought here is called a boneless pork shoulder butt roast. All the words together. So once you get this home, what you want to do is actually take it out of the packaging, take it out of the netting, and we're actually going to trim the white fat away. Normally when you're doing low and slow cooking and you're smoking it maybe on a smoker, you would want to leave that fat cap there. But in the Instant Pot, we're actually cooking hot and fast. So we don't necessarily want that fat cap on there because it's not going to render down. You're just going to end up with kind of gummy pieces of fat in the mix, which can melt down a little bit and add a little bit of flavor, but in general, you want to take off as much of that as you can. So that's where we're going to start.
While you're trimming away the fat, you're going to also be cutting the pork into large 3-inch chunks. This is going to help the pork cook nice and evenly in the Instant Pot. Now we're going to make a homemade dry rub for the pork. If you've got a rub that you like to use, go ahead and use that. But we're going to do 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1.5 tablespoons of kosher salt, and then 1 teaspoon each of onion powder, garlic powder, black pepper, half a teaspoon of chili powder and smoked paprika, then just a 1/4 teaspoon of dry mustard. Get that all mixed up either with a fork or sometimes I like to just go in with my hands and make sure that that brown sugar's all broken up. Season the pork on all sides, and I like to press it into the pork so that it adheres to all the pieces.
So to make the Instant Pot work, we need to add a little bit of liquid down into the inner pot. So we like to do this by adding a little bit of extra flavor. But we're gonna start with 1 cup of water, and then we're gonna add in 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. I think I've got just about a tablespoon here. Close enough. And 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is a very common ingredient in barbecue, so it'll work really nice with the pork. I'm gonna give this one little stir around the pot, and then we're just gonna start putting those pork pieces and layering them into the Instant Pot. All right, now all we have to do is pop the lid on. Let's see if I can do this backwards. We're gonna set the Instant Pot to cook on high pressure, normal heat for 40 minutes. So I hit the pressure cook, now I'm gonna hit the plus button until it reaches 40. We also wanna make sure that the pressure vent on top is to seal, not vent. So I'm gonna turn that in place. That beeping just means that the Instant Pot has accepted our settings and it's gonna start to build pressure and cook. So we're gonna let it do its thing. And then at the end of the cook time, once it beeps at you, you're gonna let it sit for another 10 minutes, and that's called a natural release before we actually release all the rest of the pressure.
All right, we made it through the cook time and the natural release. I'm gonna turn the pot off, release all of the steam, And then I'm going to take all of those pork pieces out of the liquid. I like to do this on a rimmed baking sheet so it catches any spills or liquid that comes out of the pork. Use 2 forks, shred it up. If you come across any large pieces of fat, go ahead and discard those. Then sometimes I like to add a little bit of juice from the pot. It adds flavor and moisture back to the pork.
Can you believe how tender that is? It fell apart with the back of a fork. It just comes out perfect every single time. So tonight we're actually gonna make barbecue pulled pork sandwiches with a little bit of coleslaw on top, a little bit of extra barbecue sauce mixed in. It's gonna be so good and I cannot wait to eat. We probably won't use all of this pulled pork. What I will do is take half of it, we'll use half of it tonight. The other half I'll let cool on this tray, and then I will pop it in the freezer in just like freezer baggies, freezer safe baggies or containers. And it will be good in the freezer for about 3 months. And then I can just let it thaw in the fridge and we can use it for dinner another night. So I hope that you make this pulled pork in your Instant Pot, in your kitchen. And if you do, let me know how you served it. Did you serve it on sandwiches? Did you serve it on nachos, in tacos, in burritos, on pizza? The options are almost endless. And of course, as always, I hope that this recipe for Instant Pot pulled pork helps you feel like a success at dinner time. Join me next week for another dinner recipe. See ya.